research is based on cannibalism. We picked this topic because it's an interesting social phenomenon. What is cannibalism? Cannibalism is the act of consuming the flesh of one's own species. So here you can see a graph that displays where cannibalism occurs around the world.
When a person dies in certain cultures, the loved ones avoid bites of their body to be a part of them. This may appear strange to others, but individuals who participate in these ceremonies, burying their loved ones in the earth, or leaving them to be completely eaten by worms or an insects, is equally as similar.
Here is an example of historical acts of cannibalism. This is interesting because it gives us a wider perspective of the psychological reasons behind cannibalism. And in this slide, it shows us the medical reasons of cannibalism, and the diseases that come with cannibalism is kuru, and you can live with this disease for a lifetime without withdrawing any symptoms.
Here we can see that there are two strategies used to minimize cannibalism, which are punishment and health consequences. Thank you.
Our project is on teenage pregnancy and its effect on education, specifically in Uganda though. We chose this because it's not a very widely covered topic in the media, but it is a growing issue here in Uganda. We wanted to find statistics and data so we could understand the rate of this growth and find out solutions. So this is our table of contents. As you can see, we have our project plan and then just the different categories of what we're going to be speaking about. This is our project plan with the individual tasks.
So this is a map of teenage pregnancies around the world. As you can see, Africa specifically has the highest amount of annual births per 1,000 teenage women, and that's mainly due to religious beliefs, sex education, the lack of, and yeah, that's it.
The effect of teenage pregnancy on girls' education in Uganda. Teenage pregnancy frequency in Uganda is at 25%. However, this is usually due to young women being married off at a young age, as many families need the money. About 16% of women at the age of 15 are married to older men and therefore usually have kids. When women reach the age of 18, 53% are already married.
So the risks of teenage pregnancies are usually that the young women die during childbirth, because it's worse for teenage girls as they haven't matured and they're not supposed to have children.
Okay, why is nothing being done against it? So for many people and their families, having children is part of culture. It's also for survival. Because multiple poor families marry their daughters off for money so that they can send the rest of their children to school, mostly the boys. And the government isn't doing much against it because it's been going on for so long. Many people know the consequences, and it's also very embedded in the culture. And other unfortunate reasons why teenage girls get pregnant is because of rape. There are about three reported cases of rape per 100,000 people per year. However, many women don't report this because it's seen as shameful and reflects badly on them.
So this is just an overall pie chart and graphs about the amount of rape and the amount of primary kids that get sexually abused.
Okay, so how does poor education affect teenage pregnancies? So it plays a really big part in the rate of pregnancy because without proper knowledge of the subject, consequences of underage sex are not explored. This means teenagers give into curiosity or peer pressure, and they end up with unwanted pregnancies and children. Now, as a country, Uganda practiced teaching abstinence as a replacement for proper sex education. And as a result, there was an incredible lack of information or misinformation about what actually happens. Now, the lack of this led to young people being taken advantage of as well, referring back to the rape. And they didn't have enough knowledge to explain maybe exactly what happened and are just overwhelmed with like guilt. So this is an example report. There wasn't much research on this topic, but I think this was taken in 2018 about a specific subcounty in Uganda about the teenage pregnancy causes. So rapid transition, 10.3%, but lack of sex education was 13.3%. Cultural and religious beliefs, 10.3%, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So this is a graph to show the education rates in Uganda in adolescents. Although lots of students go to school, not many of them are taught about sex education, as I mentioned. But however, Uganda only lifted a parliamentary ban on sexual education beyond abstinence in May 2018, which is not that long ago, which is a problem.
Possible solutions for teenage pregnancies. There are quite a number of different ways to help with the issues, including the addition of sex education into the curriculum, talking to parents and advising them not to be embarrassed about talking about the consequences of sex when the children are young, so that they know the results of actions at a young age. Schools should also offer free contraception so people are at least being safe. We had a survey where we sent it out to about 50 young people, and the questions were: do you think that teenage pregnancies are a prominent issue? For the reason above, give a reason. Yeah, and other
affects
questions.
education, why, and so on and so forth, and possible solutions. Yes. This wasn't to test, this was only to see other people's opinion, so we could include it and further understand what others think.
We also wanted to have some primary data just to make sure that we can confirm what we agree.
So these are the results. Not everyone replied, as you can see, but the responses were pretty much what we thought they would be. 82.4% said that they were a prominent issue, and 76.5% said that the education level does affect it. This is our own conclusion. So this is just a link to our survey.
You're free to do it as well.
Yes.
I think
Good.